Police found 2 other fake robberies Winfrey set up before this one.
He didn't deserve what happened to him, and he was making a dumb decision. I'm not defending him, of course, but he didn't deserve to die.
Chade Beverly, Scott's fiance, is left to raise their 2 kids alone. Winfrey is now charged with murder in Scott's death.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have to talk about a crazy story out of Houston, Texas, involving a young man by the name of Rasshauud Scott, a 22-year-old young scholar who unfortunately won a Darwin Award after staging a robbery that 2 victims were in on and ended up getting shot and killed by a bystander, Jesus Vargas. Now, the problem is that Mr. Scott, who staged this robbery, was doing it as a fake robbery in order to help illegal immigrants obtain U visas, because apparently a loophole in the visa process allows illegal immigrants to obtain visas if they are the victims of certain crimes. Now, they do this in order to aid law enforcement in solving cases. It grants the victim temporary immigration status, including work authorization, temporary immigration status for qualifying family members of the victim, and the possibility of lawful permanent resident status. Okay, so essentially, this guy was staging these robberies with individuals in order to grant these illegals these visas. And this person was successful in prior cases that have been documented of staging these robberies and the victims successfully getting visas. However, this time it backfired on this guy, and he ended up getting smoked by a bystander who thought he was witnessing a real robbery and ended up trying to basically save the victims, even though, again, it was all fake. And I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. The US dollar has lost 20% of global foreign exchange reserves, and our national debt is quickly approaching 35 trillion. No, our economy is not in great shape. Those stunning job reports that are released by the government are artificial part-time jobs. Our increasing GDP is driven by spending money that we printed. Our economy is failing and nobody is listening. Save yourself, save your family, save your future with gold. From central banks to billionaires, gold is the hedge that everybody runs to. Noble Gold can help you. From day one, you work with the same dedicated all-American expert. Whether you're a beginner or you're an expert, Noble Gold Investments will make sure that you get all the help that you need. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give away a free gold coin to everyone who opens up a qualified account. Just use promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Reported victims could get visas led to a man being killed by a bystander. We told you in January about that shooting in on Ella Boulevard, only on Fox Tonight. Fox 26's Abigail Dye spoke with the fiancé of the man who died. She has that story tonight. Abigail.
Tom, Rasshauud Scott, 22 years old. He was shot and killed while he was staging a fake robbery that the victims were apparently in on. Now, his fiance tells me that she knows he wasn't doing the right thing at the time, but she thinks that he at least deserved to see a day in court rather than have the death sentence right there on scene. This is video that we showed you in January of what looks like a robbery turned homicide when police say a bystander shot and killed the robber and left the scene. But now we know this robbery was a setup. The man killed is 22-year-old Rasshauud Scott. Court records say William X. Winfrey paid Scott to fake the robbery so that the fake victims could apply for U visas. Records say police found 2 other fake robberies Winfrey set up before this one.
He didn't deserve what happened to him, and he was making a dumb decision. I'm not defending him, of course, but he didn't deserve to die.
Chade Beverly, Scott's fiance, is left to raise their 2 kids alone. Winfrey is now charged with murder in Scott's death.
You get to see your child, so your child can come see you behind the glass. Rasshauud will never see his kids again.
But Beverly says she also wants to see the shooter, Jesus Vargas, charged.
He's the one actually behind the trigger. He's the one who made that decision.
Court documents say he told police that he fled the scene because he was on probation, meaning he wasn't allowed to have a gun.
Nobody's really talking about the main issue here, and that's gun laws. They need to change.
Court documents say Winfrey admitted that he and Scott were doing these staged robberies for about a year in exchange for money, saying they had even done one the night before.
I don't expect people to feel bad. I don't expect people to feel sorry, but somebody still lost a life at the end of the day. Have some decorum.
Now, there are no court records indicating that the people who posed as victims in these fake robberies have been charged at this point. And as for the shooter, Vargas, the charging decision for him has been sent to a grand jury, but that decision has not come back yet. We'll keep you updated on this story on air and on fox26houston.com. Live in downtown, Abigail Dye, Fox 26 News.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Isn't it fascinating how the fiance of the guy that got shot and killed wants to blame gun laws for why this happened, right? She wants to hold the shooter accountable for defending life, okay? Or at least that's what he thought he was doing, because it was no way that he could have known that the robbery was fake, okay? That this was staged in order to help these illegals obtain visas, right? Which is what this guy was doing. He was participating in a scam in order to try to help illegal immigrants stay in this country illegally, okay, by pretending as if he was committing a crime. And this bystander saw it and he said, okay, I'm going to try to save these people from being robbed. I'm going to try to do the right thing. I mean, I think that's what he did at that point. He tried to protect life, or at least that's what he thought that he was doing. And hey, you know, it is what it is. Now, you know, this woman, I understand you lost your future husband, but your future husband should have thought about his family. He should have thought about his fiance. He should have thought about his children before he made the decision to do something so stupid like to stage a robbery. Did he not think that it was possible that, hey, he might end up getting hurt in the process of staging this robbery, that somebody, whether it be an innocent law-abiding citizen or a police officer, could witness this robbery and then end up taking action in a way that could result in stuff like this happening, right, where he could lose his life? Because, I mean, that is a possibility. Also, on top of that, it's a possibility that this guy could go to jail, okay? If he gets caught for, again, trying to rob somebody, and also, again, participating in this scam, that means that he's in prison, right? If he gets sent to prison, then how is he of help to you and his children? He can't feed his children and his family in prison. So this guy was taking risks that he should not have been taking to get money. He decided to become a career criminal instead of getting a job, and he ended up facing the consequences of his actions. And now this woman wants to hold everybody accountable instead of understanding that, hey, your husband or your future husband put himself in this situation. It's his fault. Nobody told him to go out here and start faking robberies and trying to help illegal immigrants get visas, to defraud the U.S. government, to defraud American taxpayers. That's what he was doing. And because he was participating in those activities, this is the result. It is what it is. He won a Darwin Award, right? That's what happens when you participate in these type of stupid activities. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's nobody's fault except his. Now, when it comes to the guy that shot him, I mean, he's in a sticky situation because he was on probation and he's not supposed to have a weapon. But, you know, if they do end up charging him for something, I hope they don't charge him for murder or manslaughter or anything like that. I hope that if they do charge him, that is nothing more than, well, you know, unlawful possession. But anything more than that, he shouldn't be charged. Shouldn't be charged because he was doing what he thought was right. He was defending life. And this person, again, was faking a robbery. The shooter didn't know. So he acted in accordance to what he thought was a real robbery. It is what it is. So, you know, again, I find it fascinating how, you know, this woman wants to blame gun laws. She wants to blame the shooter. She wants to place blame on everybody except her fiance because it solely is his fault for putting himself in that incredibly stupid situation, and he ended up losing his life. It's nobody's fault except his. And you know, this is just the reality of the decisions that he made. And maybe this woman should have made a better decision about who she wanted to get married to and to spend her life with and to be the father of her children, because it seems as if this individual was not a good man to try to start a life with, because he didn't want to just get a regular job and work like everybody else to provide for his family. He had to turn to a life of crime, and he ended up paying the ultimate price for it. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.